Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing a shamanic manifestation and visioning ceremony. And the number one thing we need to do is to find the ideal location, because you need to be able to sink into the energies in a quiet destination, but also call upon the 5 elements in order to make this happen. Absolutely. I've been doing this for a very long time with great success, and it's part of my sacred journeying, to be honest. It just comes to me. I am not 6th generation shaman whatsoever, but I've done enough of the inner work, the meditation, the spiritual transformation to be able to download this information, how it's done. So I'm just looking for an ideal place, and you know, my favorite place is next to the ocean, next to a body of water. Now, I've done it next to a lake before, and I've done it next to small little puddles even, like, because you need that water element there. And but today we're going to go next to the ocean here, which is absolutely a stunning place and very quiet. There's a lot of people. Well, I'm in Australia, so we don't consider that a lot. If I was in India, there would be a lot of people next to the beach. In that case, you kind of want to go into the forest or something, and bring your own bottle of water, something that's been from a natural source. You can use ocean water, sea salt water. You can make your own and bring it into the forest, into a quiet place, or even in your own home. But if you're outside in nature, it's so much more powerful. So yeah, so anyways, I see a nice place there with some shade. I'm just gonna head to that and then set up. Okay, so this isn't the spot I was thinking of. This is the next one down, which is gonna do the job for us. So first of all, take your shoes off. Now, if you wanna join me, you can absolutely join me doing this visioning and manifesting ceremony the shamanic way by finding yourself a spot in nature and following the instructions. This is just something I've been doing for ages. Now, if you're wearing white pants, roll up your pants, and you're going to make a circle in the sand. So I normally do this by just dragging my foot in the sand with full intention in my mind, holding space, that I'm making a sacred ceremony. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's big enough for me to stand in, and this is the ideal size. Now, what I'm really lucky about here is that there's no stones or sticks in this circle. It's pure visioning. But normally, and I've done smaller ones as well, which are a little bit easier to manage because you have to keep the space clear. Now I can see one, I don't know if you can see this here, it's sticking out. So I'm just going to make my circle a little bit smaller. I like it to be clear inside, which means I have to erase the one on the outside so that it knows it's no longer part of my ceremony. Sorry for going out of screen there. This is a really important part. So this is visioning. Now, you know, I'm not shamanic trained. I'm not 6th level shaman in my generations. I just have past lives in this energy work, in this work, and I've done the work this lifetime. I've done trance meditations. I've talked to the spirits of the land. I honor and respect the spirits of the land everywhere I go, and there's unlimited amount of unseen beings around us. So I'm just doing that now, honor and respecting the spirits of the land and calling them to support my visioning, my manifesting ceremony. Absolutely. Don't forget to do that. That's a bit of juicy goodness, to be honest. When we call in the spirits of the land, the ancestors of the land, we're connecting with the great beings that are around us, and that gives you power, right? Of course. But one of the most important things you must draw into your energy is the elements: water, air, earth, fire, and akasha, which is space. Now, I've got the tattoos on me. I don't know if you ever noticed this in my videos, but I have the tattoos. These are the actual tattvas from India. And I have them because I work with the elements on a regular basis in my sacred journey. Yeah, absolutely. So I just recognized that I broke the circle there. So I'm just remaking it again. This is a bit of a higgledy-piggledy because I'm talking at the same time as doing a video, as doing the ceremony. But at least you got the idea, right? So right now, just looking at this, if there's sticks and stones, you clear it out. I've got a lot of footprints here. So I'm just recognizing that there's a lot of chaos in the energy right here inside my inner circle. Now, I can't stop all my footprints from happening, but I want to place my visioning accordingly. Now, it's really important to use what's around you. Don't bring your crystals. Come on. What's around you? Let's see. Now I've got a leaf. I've got some leaves. I don't have any stones. Here's a crumpled up leaf and a fresh new leaf. So land will start talking to me now. What does this represent? Have a look at these. What would this represent if you grabbed them? A new fresh leaf and a crumpled old leaf, right? This is old energy and new energy. And in your trance state, as you're doing the ceremony, this will represent my new life, and this will represent the old patterns that I'm just ditching, right? This, because in my mind it represents the old patterns that I'm ditching, stepping into new, this is not allowed in my inner circle. Because my mind automatically connected it to the old past. This one is my new beginning, and it's allowed in my circle. However, it just broke off. So my new beginning is broken. So I need something fresh still. Oh, watch how particular I am. So let's go on a hunt. So working what we have around us, let's see, what have we got that can represent me in the most purest form that will make me feel like, yeah, that's going to represent me. Look at, isn't that beautiful? Okay, that's going to represent me on my travels and my journey. And I would like someone to travel with me. All right. So how about this is a manifesting and visioning ceremony? That feels good. I can feel that energy. I can feel the energy behind that. That's me, and that one's someone traveling with me. Okay, so let's see what else is here. I can see some burnt. In my mind, straight away, it recognizes that as ending, death. I don't want that. This one, perhaps, what could this represent? A new idea, a new beginning, a new seed. We're going to seed the path with this, and then make some. Okay, this looks like some sticks to be able to work with. Whoa, this is like tons of stuff. So now we're going to bring it back to the circle. Now it's a bit tricky to talk you through how this works, but the most important thing is circles and feeling into it, right? Sort of feeling into it. And with that is a conscious awareness about what each item represents to you as soon as you see it or hold it. You notice with the leaf, it was a negative and negative for me, whereas these two here are a positive. This is me, it's heart-shaped, heart-centered. This person that may be traveling with me is also in the same way. Both feel resonant energy, so they stay in my visioning. If something doesn't feel good, it either needs to leave the visioning, I don't accept it into my reality, or it needs to be fixed. So what I've done is laid it out here. I've got a small circle that represents me. This person is coming into my inner circle, my inner world. This is my shamanic mysticism journey. At the beginning of this journey, you can see this small circle here. My new beginning starts here. I'm starting to travel. These sticks are placed here. They're representing the countries I'm going to travel to because there's a break in the country. How do I know this? Because I can feel into it, right? I feel into it, and I would love to talk you through this process so you can also do this visioning and manifesting process. It's a shamanic dream time journey. Now this here, when I chose it earlier, it did not represent a person, it represents a new beginning, which then starts here. This is the new beginning of this journey. So these two are actually coming into my life very soon, and they're right here. Then the next part is, once I got it laid out, now I did this visioning manifesting ceremony a few weeks ago for you, did a recording, and I decided I really needed to explain it a bit more, so I'm redoing the video. So I've already done this visioning, but I wanted to let you know the next step that you do is to see in the visioning what the trials, tribulations, problems, and struggles are that you're going to hit on your journey as I'm traveling through different countries. Or if you're traveling, you want to create, let's say, a new business, a new relationship. What are the problems you run across that's stopping you? That's where this circle comes very, very powerful, right? So when I visioned it before, the issues were paperwork, right? And there was a little bit with travel. I think the train gets stopped someplace, or the plane is delayed an hour. That was not a big issue, but the paperwork going into one of the countries was not correct. And so I sent my spirit guides ahead to clear that issue. And once it's cleared in the energies, you can feel the shift. So right now, as I've prepared this and talking to you, I was feeling into it. I was like, the paperwork issue isn't there. I was like, oh, that's good. So this is what it's about. So let me tell you a story about how I did this and how I changed something in my life. So this happened maybe 15 years ago. I woke up with this feeling, or this, So this happened about 15 years ago. I woke up from a dream where I was frantically packing. I had to suddenly move. I was being forced to move, and I did not want to move. I wasn't ready. So I said to my housemate at the time, like, I had this dream of packing and moving, and he says, so did I. Now he was switched on. He's where I learned a lot of the powers and skills that I have. So I said to him, are you ready to move? He says, no. Because I said, let's change that. He said, yeah. And so I called the real estate and asked them to extend our lease to another year, a bit early, because I thought I might be traveling to Canada. So the lease was signed early. We were allowed to stay for, the extra year and the 90 days, 3 months as well. And because my daughter was young, I wasn't ready to move yet. Lo and behold, but a month later, the landlord comes by and he says, did you ever go visit your mama in Canada? I said, oh no, I wasn't able to. And he had a really big smile on his face. And he says, well, you know why? It's because I just got separated from my wife. They had a divorce and she wanted this house, but she couldn't have it because you signed a lease early. It was a win-win for him. And that was confirmation for me that the dreams were showing us that there was a move. We weren't ready for it, so we changed our reality. Now that's a practical description of how you can work with the energies, with the dream time, right? So what I'm showing you here is a way that gives you an indication you can feel into what's actually happening in your life, what's coming up that may cause you problems, so you can shift the energy of that. Yeah, do you get that? Okay, let me continue. And as you're standing in the circle, you have the circle around you, and I'll demonstrate this in a moment, but I want to take you step by step through it, is that you close your eyes and you call on the different elements. Honestly, this works. It has worked for me numerous times. You think about air. Wait, let's go. First, earth. You think about for earth, it's easy. We're standing on earth all the time, unless you're in a building. My shoes are off. You notice that I'm connecting with the sand, feeling the earth, and I'm calling in the power of the earth just by thinking about it, respecting it, honoring it. Now, if you call on earth and you think about something negative, that's not a proper calling. It has to be clear calling, clear, soft energy, right? Pure. No revenge, no judgment, no hatred, no negativity there. You're calling on this earth in its pure element essence. Not earth like earth, but the element of earth, right? Prithvi, you're really calling on. And you're just calling, you're feeling it come into the circle. And then you call on earth, water. You're feeling the water. The water around you comes into your circle. You can actually imagine that water is around the edges of your circle, filling up. You can imagine the rain coming into the circle. Your imagination is where it's at. You really bring the imagination of the elements there, right? And then air. Feel the air. No, sorry, water. Fire. Okay, now you notice I don't have fire with me, right? I don't have a lighter. I don't have a candle. Where's my fire element coming from? Someone asked me that the other day. So it was rather hilarious. I said, what do you mean there's no fire element? I said, we've got the biggest fire element in the sky. It's a hot day. The sun is shining on me right now. I can feel the element of fire. Right? The element. We're not talking about fire, we're talking about the element, right? So stand in your circle and feel the warmth of the sun. Remind yourself of what fire feels like when you're sitting around a campfire or watching a candle. Just bring that imagination to mind and feel the element of fire. This is shamanism, people, mysticism, not physical reality stuff. You don't need a flame. You need the element. Okay, and after fire comes water. So, earth, water, fire, air. Boy, I'm getting them all jumbled up. Maybe it's to keep you on your toes, right? So you have to be on your toes when you're working with this energy. It's hilarious how the words are just randomly popping into my head today. So the air, I can feel the breeze, right? I can see the trees, the leaves are slightly blowing in the wind. That's air. I'm breathing air. You know, you're standing in your circle and you're thinking of all of these. And then space. Space is everywhere. So I'm just going to call in the different elements right now. Sometimes I find it difficult to speak the words when I'm starting to move into trance. I'm just settling into the energies now and calling on earth first and the power of the earth element. Calling on the power of water now, bringing them into my circle for manifestation, intentions, water. Now calling on the power of fire, feeling the element of fire coming into the circle now. And now calling on the power of air. These are the elementals that create up this 3D reality. I'm feeling the air on my skin, the air of my breath, feeling of air. Calling them in the power, right? Calling them into the power. I can feel, I don't know if you felt that shift in energy right there. There's some power within my circle right now. The circle is containing my power, the power of the elements. And now I have an intention that I'm asking for their support. The intention should never be self-centered or ego-driven. It just doesn't work. It needs to be of a higher level of intention, of a higher energetic vibration. And my intention is to travel, to be of service, to be of service for as many people, for those people who are seeking spiritual awakening, for people who want to heal from their past, their wounds, and to understand how they can reach enlightenment, to be of service to those people on my travel, and that they come into my path with ease, right? They're drawn to working with me. They can feel it, and they're really ready for the spiritual awakening. So you could feel putting this intention together with the elements has a different feel to it, right? It's not mundane way of thinking, it's higher energetic vibration. I'm just feeling the energy settle and the communication with the elements that make up this 3D reality, this physical reality, and just giving them my thanks. And I'm asking for them to shift anything in my own energy matrix, in my personal energy, that will stop me from moving towards my own enlightenment this lifetime. And I'm just asking for their support to shift anything in my physical, emotional, mental bodies, and to help me and to clear the path in front of me of any people or obstacles that may stop me. So just feeling that. You notice that I'm taking time. I settled into the energies. I can feel the shift. And it's like I'm existing outside of reality right now. There's people sitting on the bench there on the table. There's nobody walking by me right now. It's like I've been given sacred space, that time to be able to do this, to feel it. I've done this many times in many different places, and every time the people around me clear out, or I get a notification that I need to finish my ceremony because people are coming. So right now I'm going to close the ceremony and just give thanks to my higher self, to the spirit guides, to the ancestors and the spirits of the land, and to the 5 elements for seeing and witnessing this transformation. And give them thanks for the supporting, for healing the planet from within. And now this, which I held so dearly, which was representing me, is now going to leave the circle along with everything else. So you need to pack up your circle. This is a really important part because the circle has to be erased. So you watch this as the circle's erased. In my mind, I'm coming back into normal human mode, into the mundane reality as I'm erasing the circle. And I didn't just throw these aside, I'm honoring them as sacred, right? So this is really, really important. I'm actually going to return them to the place where I first collected them, which was over here. And just giving them thanks for giving me this support on my journey. Thank you. May your journey be safe, protected. Okay, so honoring every single aspect of the journey, right? This is really important. And I'm just now observing what's around me and who's around me. And yeah, everything's cool. Okay, we just did a sacred shamanic visioning and manifesting ceremony. This is something that I've done for a long time now. I don't have shaman lineage this lifetime. I've been working on this for many lifetimes. But this life in particular, I've worked really hard to get to where I am right now. And that's massive. I've done the inner work, I've done the spiritual development, I've released my own karma, past life karma, intergenerational baggage and burdens. I've built a relationship with my spirit guides and the divine energies. This is powerful work, guys. And you can name it shamanism or mysticism if you like. But however you want to name it, it's very powerful and there to support you on your journey to a better way of living. I'm very much in a trance state right now. I think I'm gonna have to stop the video recording. Thanks for joining me. I hope this has been a massive benefit to you. Please reach out to me if you need my help. I'm of service to you.